Hi guys, so today's video is 10 things no one told me about the aftermath of sleeve surgery. All right, so today I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about some things that no one ever let me know about before I had sleeve surgery. And it's more of like the stuff that you wish you kind of knew about so you could prepare for after you have surgery. So I'm just gonna kind of go through my little list of 10 things. I've got a couple other little honorable mention things as well. These aren't really in a particular order of like importance. This is gonna be a little bit of a longer video. So I am going to put timestamps in the description below for each one of my little bullet points. That way, if there's something that you're specifically interested in, you can kind of skip around and find that. I hope you guys watched the whole video. I feel like it's got a lot of information in it, but if that's not something you're wanting to do, you can absolutely check down below for those timestamps. I will never be able to take a big gulp of water again. And this sounds kind of silly and like, oh, well, like, why are you complaining? But it is the weirdest thing for me, especially in the industry that I work in, which is the restaurant industry. A lot of times you're running around, and all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, I am so thirsty. And you go and you get water and you like chug a whole cup of water. You can't do that anymore. You can't even take a large gulp or multiple sips of water at once. It physically won't work. I either throw up or it hurts so bad, like going down, I can feel like each little drop of water like going in. It's a crazy, weird sensation, but it's like something I think I took for granted before because I almost always feel like I need more than just that little sip that I'm allowed to take. And it also has had to force me how to like reteach myself how to drink and to make sure I'm always sipping on water like all the time. Otherwise I get thirsty and I cannot quench my thirst. That body dysmorphia is a real thing. And this is a big deal. And I would love to do a separate video just focusing on this. So even though I've lost 115 pounds, I still sometimes feel like I am still that 275, 280 pound person. So it's a super weird thing to explain to someone because they'll be looking at you like, wait, like, you don't feel like you look smaller? There's no way that doesn't make sense. And when I look in the mirror, I still see my heavy self. It's the weirdest thing, and I really don't know how to explain it to you other than that's just what it is. Some things that I do to kind of help me realize like how far I've come and how much weight I've lost is I have a couple staple pieces that have meaning to me of clothing, like that are way too big for me to wear now. And I hang on to those and they're in my closet, and every once in a while I'll pull one of those out and I put it on because for whatever reason, when I do that, I really can visualize the fact that like, hey, this like 2X dress is huge on me. Or a couple weeks ago around my husband and my anniversary, I put on my wedding dress, which was way big. Like I could fit my arms in it. And things like that kind of help me like get out of that mental state and realize like, hey, I'm actually a lot smaller than I feel like I am. But for the most part, I walk around all day long still kind of feeling like I'm still that 275 pound person. You buy less food because you don't eat as much, but the food that you buy costs a lot more. So there is an expense factor in this surgery that goes well past just having the surgery, and you need to be prepared for that. You have to take vitamins forever, more vitamins than you normally would have taken before. Protein drinks, like they're great and I love the simplicity of them and I can take them anywhere I want to go, but they're not cheap. Like they're not. So you're talking about $8 for 4 of them. If you can get the bigger containers, they're a little bit cheaper, but you want to buy them in bulk. It saves you money. And also any of that like keto friendly, healthy lifestyle food, Quest pizzas, things like that, low carb options, a lot of those things are double or triple the price of something that you would normally buy. So just bear that in mind. Make sure you're prepared for that because it's not necessarily gonna cost you less because you're eating less. Acid reflux is the devil. Like, 100%. I had mild acid reflux here and there, but nothing consistent before my surgery like some people do. So the sleeve surgery was suggested to me because of that, whereas like the actual bypass surgery is recommended for people who have severe reflux before surgery. So I didn't have acid reflux issues other than the normal here and there when I would eat something I shouldn't. So my doctor recommended sleeve surgery, didn't think anything of it, but a side effect of sleeve surgery is severe acid reflux, especially if you already have some issues going into it. So the only way to cure that is either by medication, or you have to go and have a revision done to bypass, because bypass will cure it like that. So for the first 6 months after my surgery, I was dying all day, every single day. I struggled to get my doctor to really understand how bad it was, and had a hard time getting him to give me more medications and things like that. The stuff that I had wasn't really working. So he ended up going in and scoping just to make sure everything was okay down there. He said everything looked great. He said I did have a little bit of a stricture, which he opened up a little bit more and stretched, and it helped for a couple days, and then the reflux was back again. And somehow, miraculously, thank the Lord, I have now 8 months out, I don't have it like nearly as bad. I still get it here and there, but I kind of know what flares it up and what causes it. I'm not getting it all day long, but this is definitely a side effect of the sleeve surgery. So if you do have any type of acid reflux going into this surgery, make sure you talk to your doctor, because this might not be the best surgical option for you, and they might decide to do something else with you, or they'll know going into it so they can make sure that the medication that you're getting is what you need. Your new body takes a lot of getting used to. This is 100% true. Things sit in different places. Things sag. I'm gonna show you something that I'm super self-conscious about, but things jiggle, like everything moves, and you have to really make sure that you are aware of that and prepared for that. And you also, there are things you can do. There are outfit, like I wear high-waisted jeans to help cover my stomach. I wear longer sleeve shirts to help cover my arms, like things like that. And that stuff all helps, but there is no cure for the loose skin and for the differences in your body that you're gonna start to experience. You are gonna feel hungry. A lot of doctors, one of the things they really like try to sell people on is, oh, when we do the sleeve surgery, we cut out the part of your stomach that has sensors that make you feel hungry. So you're not gonna have a hunger feeling anymore. That's not true. It's 100% not true. And maybe it's true for some people, 100% not true for me. And from what I've gathered by asking other people in some support groups that I'm in who have had the same surgery, for the majority of people, it's not true. The first couple months when you're still healing, you don't feel hungry. You don't want to eat. Not even the first few months, but especially like the first 2 months for sure for me. I didn't feel hungry. I didn't want to eat. I was still in pain. Food hurt. So you kind of start to associate food with like hurting your stomach. So you're not eating as much. But once that all starts healing and settling down and your metabolism and everything starts kicking in, you're gonna feel hungry. There's such thing as head hunger, which is a mental state of feeling hungry. And then there's just legit hunger. Some days I'm not hungry at all and I have to force myself to get my protein in and force myself to get my water in and everything. Other days I'm hungry nonstop all day long. Doesn't matter how much protein I have, doesn't matter what I eat, nothing makes me not feel hungry. And I get those hunger pains that they say you're not gonna have anymore. You have to fix the way you carry your body. When you're 100 pounds heavier, you're going to walk a certain way. You're gonna carry yourself a certain way. I know I am a really bad huncher. I always have been, because I always felt like it kind of hid the appearance of how large my arms were and how like just big my body was. So I was always a huncher. I carried myself a certain way to accommodate that weight. And no one really had a conversation with me like, hey, as you lose this weight, you're gonna need to carry yourself differently, because if you don't, you're gonna have like pains in different places. So yes, I don't have any more real knee pain or leg pain like I did when I was 100 pounds heavier. I always had lower back pain when I was heavier. I don't have any of those pains anymore, but I do have new pains, and that's because I'm not carrying myself like I'm 100 pounds lighter. Everything gets smaller. When I say everything, I mean your feet get smaller, your hands get smaller, which means your fingers get smaller, everything gets smaller. So I have lost 2 shoe sizes. I was a size 11 and I am now a 9. So make sure that you know that, keep that in mind. Your feet will shrink. The other thing is your fingers shrink. So my wedding ring doesn't fit anymore. I have bought like guards, which they do sell on Amazon and places like that, but those only work for so long because they only can make them so big. And I've been wearing the guards for this whole time, and just this last 2 months, like my ring is still way too big for me and I pretty much can't wear it anymore. Your world still revolves around food. So you think, oh, I'm gonna have this surgery and I'm gonna be able to do more activities and I'm gonna do more things, which is true. And food will become this afterthought. It's not gonna be as important to me as it was when I was, 200, 300 plus pounds. That's absolutely not true. So food is even more important now than it was before. It's just a different type of important, and it's a mind shift you have to kind of make. So food, I probably think about food all day long, between feeling hungry, which I'm not supposed to feel, but also just because I have to calculate everything. I'm trying to make sure I get enough water in, I'm trying to make sure I get enough protein in, I'm trying to make sure I don't get too much sugar, don't get too much carbs. I'm counting my calories. So I'm eating and then I'm thinking about what I'm gonna be eating in 2 hours. And it's weird, and you have to kind of be ready for that because food is still gonna be super important. It's just gonna be important to you in a completely different way. This is not easy. Like, anybody who tells you that you took the easy way out or you're doing it the easy way has no idea what they're talking about. And you can tell them that, you can tell them I said that, because they don't know what they're talking about. This is the biggest one to me, I feel like, because this is a tool. That's all this is. If you don't follow the diet nutritionist tells you to follow, and if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you will not lose weight. You will gain weight back. I know people who have had the surgery who have been super successful. I also know people who have had the surgery who have not been successful. And a lot of that has to do with just not following the diets and the restrictions that we're supposed to follow. You have to stick to the plan. You have to work the plan. If you don't, you're not gonna see the results that you're hoping you're gonna see. You will more than likely need other surgeries after this surgery. And what that means is a high majority of people have to have their gallbladder removed after this surgery. I know there's some scientific reasons behind it. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not gonna throw all that out there, but the majority of people have to have it removed. A lot of times you're gonna need and or want to have other skin removal surgeries. So keep that in mind, because those are also added expenses, added recovery time, something you have to think about. Like, I have to save for those things. You're gonna have stalls. Like I said earlier, for the last month and a half, I've been at like the same weight. I've had so many stalls. Almost every single person has a stall at 3 weeks, because that's when your body is like officially in healing mode from the surgery. And then you're gonna have stalls throughout that. It's gonna happen. It's totally normal. It's totally fine. A lot of times I just switch my diet up a little bit, increase my water or increase my protein or something like that, and it'll kick me out of it. But there have been times when I've been on a stall for weeks. And that happens. Don't get discouraged. Just keep doing what you're supposed to be doing and you'll start losing again. It'll happen. So the last one is people are gonna treat you differently. And when I mean people, I mean everyone. I mean strangers that you don't know. I mean your friends, your family, your coworkers. And it's just how it is. With family, friends, coworkers, people that are in your life all the time, things are gonna change because they're gonna be watching you drastically change. They're gonna be watching the way you're eating, the way you're exercising, things like that. They're gonna ask you a ton of questions. I've become like the go-to person at my work about any type of new healthy snacks that are out there that taste good, just because I'm always trying different things. With strangers, like, people will potentially notice you that never noticed you or treat you differently, and it happens and it's weird, but it's just part of the whole thing, and you have to be prepared for that because it might take you aback a little bit if you aren't. So I mean, those are really the things that I have. If you guys have any that I didn't mention here that you wish someone had told you, put those in the comments below so that we can kind of all see those. I love hearing all that kind of stuff because I just find it super interesting, especially since everyone's journey is so different. And if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, like this video for me, I'd really appreciate it. And make sure you hit that little notification bell so you get notifications on any other videos I do in the future. I do a lot of weight loss videos mixed in with my makeup and my wig videos. So just make sure you're watching for those. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.